So I just recorded this whole video and I just realized I never pushed the record button, so take two.
First, I'ma say all the words inside.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Live, Love, Life, and Travel. This is your girl Shamika, and welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry guys, I have been away because I have been working full time, but I have a lot of exciting things coming up for myself and for you guys for this channel, and I will be making a separate update video of the places that I'm about to go very soon, so stay tuned for that. But in this video, I wanted to hit on the topic of being black in Thailand, and no, I am not about to go over the long list and the barrage of things that have already been talked about and pretty much deaded from not just me but other black social media influencers on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram who have talked about being black in Thailand. I think it's been thoroughly talked about, thoroughly researched, and I think we all sort of get the point. However, even though I think a lot of people have done a very good job putting out their point of view of what their experiences have been in Thailand, I still think there's a question mark over other people's heads when it comes to what they might experience in Thailand, what they are experiencing in Thailand, and are Thai people still racist or biased or prejudiced in some way. And one of the main things I still see coming up is the staring factor. And the reason why I'm hitting on just this one topic today is because I still see it being talked about on social media forums and threads, and even on my own YouTube channel. I recently got a comment, and on the social media threads I see a lot of people talking about being stared at, and it presented in a way they think that is coming from a place of malice or is problematic in some way, and even though I do see people in the thread also trying to like, no, they're not doing that out of malice, they're not racist, but I can see through the conversation that the person's like, are you sure they're not racist? And then on my own YouTube channel, like I said before, I recently got a comment of someone on one of my videos that I did about being black in Thailand. Even though I feel that I did a pretty good job explaining the fact that the staring, the questions, the looks, the touches, the pictures are not coming from a place of malice, that they're not racist, that they're not being prejudiced, that they're not being biased, I still feel people like are confused by it, because I got a comment saying, and this is no hate to the person who left that comment, maybe I just really didn't do a good job portraying that or getting that point across, even though I feel I did. But they left a comment basically saying like, oh my god, I really would love to go to Thailand, but just hearing the fact that they stare at you and take pictures makes me feel really uncomfortable, and that's really sad, so I don't know if I'm gonna go. And I'm like, I don't know, like, I'm pretty sure I made it clear that it's not a place of malice, and I made tons of videos talking about how good Thai people have been to me. I've made story time videos about it, so I don't know. But anyway, I think there's a big point missing here, and maybe this is not the majority of people. Maybe there's just still some people who aren't getting this point. Yes, Thai people and other people from Southeast Asian countries will stare at you. Not everybody, but you will get stares. You will get pictures. You will get some not a lot, not in my situation, but some people might want to touch your skin. Some people might want to touch your hair. But, and this is a big but, yes, they're staring at you because of the color of your skin. Yes, they're staring at you because of the texture of your hair. But they do not only stare at black people. They stare at anybody who looks different from what they are used to seeing. Anybody. So I think this is sometimes hard to wrap your mind around if you come from a place that is very diverse or multicultural. If you come from a city-state country where you see from people from all different shapes and sizes, for all different colors, religions, sexualities, genders, political orientations, beliefs, I think that it's hard for people to realize what it feels like when you come from sort of a monochromatic world. And I don't mean that as a diss or a negative thing. A lot of Southeast Asian countries, especially places like Laos and Cambodia, are one of the poorest Southeast Asian countries. They have been very slow to progress and grow because of the war, because of the bombing, and because of the genocide that happened in Cambodia. So a lot of these countries are still fairly new to tourism, and a lot of them, especially depending on what part of the countries they're from, because if they've been born and raised in a rice field somewhere back out in a country, is a good chance that everyone they've ever seen and known throughout their life were Asian. And not just Asian. If they're from Cambodia, everyone was Cambodian. If they're from Thailand, everybody was Thai or maybe Burmese. And if they're from Laos, everybody was Laos. So everyone I saw was the same. So a lot of what we think is just like, I've seen that all the time, to them is like, whoa, that's new, I've never seen that before. I'm from LA, so if you see a 10-foot tranny walking in a giant stiletto heel with a golden crown on her head and walking a cheetah across Hollywood, you're probably not going to think twice, because you're like, this is LA. You see everything in LA. And so I think that people have to learn to put themselves in someone else's shoes. Everyone looks at something that's different from them. The difference is, in Western cultures, that we're taught that staring is rude. So if I see a really tall person, I'm gonna look and be like, fuck, that person's so tall, but I'm gonna make sure I'm staring the appropriate amount of time and to not be considered rude or make that person feel uncomfortable. If I see a little person, I might do like a side eye or a side glance, or maybe like look when I don't think that person's looking at me, because I'm trying not to be rude or obvious that I'm staring or looking at that person. If I see a woman with triple Z boobs, I'm gonna look. I might even just directly look at that, because triple Z boobs are like huge. But anyway, you get my point. Like, if you see something different, you're going to look. The difference is, in the Western countries, we're taught that is rude, so we try to do it on a sly. We try to do it where we're not purposely making, or we're not consciously making that person feel uncomfortable. And in a lot of other countries, staring isn't considered rude. It's just considered obvious. You look different. Of course I'm going to stare at you.
And it's also safe to say that Black people as a whole, as a community, have not been traveling through Southeast Asia as much as, or as long as, other countries and other communities and other races. And so, again, we are new and different, and that is one of the reasons they may stare and be intrigued by us.
Again, they are looking at you because of the color of your skin. They are taking pictures of you because of the texture of your hair. But Black people aren't the only type of people that get this sort of treatment, okay? For instance, I was traveling with a girl with really pale skin. She was from Jersey in Europe. She had really pale skin and really bright dreadlocks. Really long, bright dreadlocks. And she got just as many stares, just as many looks, just as many questions, just as many touches, just as many pictures as I did, and she was pale white with red hair. I traveled with a guy with a really long beard in Cambodia, and the Cambodian men, for some reason, were really interested in his beard, and I think it's because a lot of Southeast Asian men do not grow tons of facial hair. So he got just as many stares, just as many questions. People wanted to touch his beard. He got just as many pictures as I did, and he was a white guy with a beard. I traveled with another guy that was super tall. He got just as many stares, just as many looks, and just as many pictures as I did, and he was a white guy that was super tall. So it's not because... It is because you are Black, and it is because of your hair texture, but you are not the only race of people that go through that. They look at and stare at anybody who looks different. Anybody. Okay? So it's not just specific to Black people. And I think that's the part that's missing. I think people forget that there is a thing called ignorance. And I think we don't forgive ignorance enough. And ignorance in a way where I'm not saying like stupidity, I'm saying you're just uneducated about that thing. And again, if you have no contact with people from other races, religions, cultures, backgrounds, you are going to be ignorant. And that's just how it is. And again, it's not coming from malice, it's just coming from a place of ignorance sometimes. And again, even the sort of social, societal agreement for us not to stare, they don't have that agreement. So they're going to stare. Put yourself in other people's shoes and understand what you would feel like if you were coming from their background. Now, in saying that, I'm not saying that people don't have a right to feel uncomfortable. I'm not saying that people don't have a right to vent, and I'm definitely not saying people don't have a right to build boundaries. If you think people are asking too many questions, if you think you don't want people to touch your skin or touch your hair or take your picture, you have every right to be like, no, stop, I don't feel comfortable with that. And you have every right to feel uncomfortable. If someone's like breaking their neck to look at you, I understand. Staring can be really annoying. I get it. Especially when people are like literally like going out of their way to stare at you or fake take a picture of you or something. It's really annoying sometimes, especially when you're just not in the mood, you're hangry, you're tired, you're hot, you've been walking all day, you got a heavy ass backpack, and they're staring at you and they're not even asking you if you need any help. I know it can be annoying, so I'm not saying that you can't be annoyed. I'm just saying, just understand it's literally just coming from a place of curiosity, and they stare at anybody, not just Black people, who look different from them because of where they come from. We might not understand that because we've seen all types of people, but you have to understand where they're coming from. You know what I mean? I think we should just squash this this conversation now about being black in Thailand, because we should focus on just the experiences as a whole and the beauty of Thailand and the beautiful people and the culture and the food and what you can experience there. Thai people aren't racist. As a whole, they are not racist. Is their country perfect? No. Is their government perfect? No. As a whole, as just the general people, not the higher ups, not the hierarchy, the general people are not racist. They're not biased. They're just good people, and if they're looking at you, staring at you, feel free to create boundaries, but just know they're doing it mostly out of curiosity. That is it. That is my video. If you have any comments yourself, if you don't agree with me, go ahead and please feel free to put a comment in the comment section below. If you do have experience in Thailand and of a person of color or someone who's like, yeah, I have bunch of tattoos, or I have crazy hair, or I look like this and I got stared at too, go ahead and put in the comment section below. This conversation is for everybody, and like this video if you want to like it, share it on Facebook, Twitter, and beyond, I guess. And if you want to continue to follow me on this crazy beautiful game called life, please subscribe, and if you subscribe, hit that bell to get the notifications when I do upload. And thank you from Live, Love, Life, and Ciao.
Break me down, you build me a believer.